I love learning foreign scripts, and sadly, many of the tools that are out there online to teach them really suck. There was one tool out there about 10 years ago that I could use to write Chinese in 草书 and 行书, the cursive and semi-cursive styles that would just let me write and erase, use whatever template I wanted, and they took it off the market. I even contacted the creator in mainland China and paid him directly so that I could access the APK, but then that just went by the wayside and couldn't be used on updated versions, and so I was left with no tools. So what do? I built one myself. And the best thing is that this tool that I built for myself, well, I'm making it available to everybody for free, along with many of these other tools at tools.crackinglanguage.com. So if you come over here, and you can actually see this icon up in the top right-hand corner here. So if you click on that from anywhere in the site, and this is the thing learning scripts, when I'm learning, and so my site is going to be teaching stuff about many different languages, many scripts, many screens. I want to be able to access my script learning tool at any time. Sometimes I just want to do it because my muscles want to write. Sometimes I want to do it because I'll see something and I want to just get it into my hand and practice it. And so when you click on the button there, bang, you'll see from any place in the site, it'll drop down there and it's ready to use. Now take a look at the dashboard there. It might look quite simple, but there are some very deep functionality in there that's really going to help you learn any script, whether it's Thai, Lao, Khmer, Burmese, Sanskrit, any Indic language, Arabic, Farsi, Urdu, Hebrew, heck, even the Lord of the Rings Tengwa script, the Elvis script, you can use this to practice it. So I'm going to show you how it works. First of all, I'll show you a practical application because this is another thing that I always dreamed of having. So no matter what screen you're in my site, so here I'm opening my compass. And so what I've done, say you're learning a letter.
กอไก่
Okay, and so you can just come up here and I've put a quick launch, export to Sketchpad. I'm calling it Sketchpad at the moment. I'm looking for a better name for it because Sketchpad's pretty generic. So here I'm going to click export to Sketchpad and bang, that's right there. Now each script has its own way of laying out the script and its own dimension strategy. And so in Thai, we have these 5 lines and each line actually has a name. In Thai, this line is called the Keet Lak and this is the Keet Tan. And so when you draw your letter, it actually has to be bounded by those. And so all fonts are different kinds of sizes. They might be similar. So what I did here is I added this font scaling tool here. So you can actually scale your font up and down, up and down. And not only that, I've made this joystick. And when I say I made this joystick, I made every little bit of it. I designed them here in Illustrator, exported my vectors, and then made them programmatically function within this site. So you can actually drag your script around, you can place it anywhere in there, you can change your font, and so you can actually go there and fit it up. So if you want to nudge it up sort of in there, okay, that looks nicely placed. And so you can actually practice writing your script within those confines of that system. Now I've got to admit, I've been using my 4-year-old daughter as a guinea pig and she's been learning a ton of scripts with this. And she really loves this button. I put it in there to be like flushing down the toilet and she has a giggle each time and it encourages her to want to write more letters because each letter she writes, she wants to flush it and then write it again. It's fun for her. And so I've put these quick font selections. So with my daughter, I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's this dotted version. Let me just turn that template off and you can see a dotted version. I'll scale it up there. And so she can actually use that as a dotted version like you'll often see in these handwriting books to learn to write Thai. And that actually works in English as well. So maybe if we put a B in here, it's going to be there. I'll just bring that down. You can use this to trace around whatever one you want. I've put some cursive fonts in here. So if you want to teach your kids cursive writing, you can do it. So as an example, let me write the word Hebrew here. Okay, so that's Ivrit, and you can see you've got the Nikud down there. But anyway, most people, when you see these in texts, you'll see them in this font. And that's with many other fonts. In Arabic, in Thai, in Khmer, you have these standard fonts. But when it comes to handwriting, Russian, they're totally different. And so what I've done is it's sensed that this is Hebrew. And so then it's given these options. And so let me just scale that down here. You can actually then learn the handwriting forms, not just the print forms of the script you're using. You can actually learn the way that native speakers of that language learn to write the language as well, not just through the print forms. This is something I see a lot, even in Chinese, in Thai, that adults, even after many years of writing the language, they're still writing it in these blocky print forms, which aren't really natural if you were talking about native speakers of the language who have a more handwriting, I wouldn't say cursive, but it's a handwriting form of the language. And so while I'm talking about that, let me just come in here and I'll write the word in Russian, Ruski. Okay, Ruski, bang. And if I change this font there, that is the handwriting font. And so you can see that looks very, very different to the print form. So when many people are learning the Cyrillic alphabet, yeah, they spend a lot of time learning this, but maybe they're not getting their handwriting in and they come to read a page of native Russian speakers' handwriting and it looks like this and they think, whoa, that's totally different. And so you're able to practice that here and get your handwriting up and get your recognition of weird fonts up. And so just as another one here, so I'm writing the word Farsi. Now in Farsi, they use the Arabic script. So it's the same script with a few extra letters and symbols maybe put in, diacritics put in, just like with Urdu. And so, but there are different font forms to write this. And so this would be, say, the standard Arabic form. But we have the Nastaliq script, which is what Farsi and Urdu are normally written in. And many learners say you've learned Arabic. Maybe they haven't learned these Nastaliq versions of it. And so I've put them in here. And so you can actually read it like that. Let me just bring it up a little bit. And so even if you can already write or read Arabic, you can actually get used to this Nastaliq version of writing, which actually goes down on these angles. You can see the Nastaliq script goes on these angles down this way. And I've even put an extra color and a more of a pen rather than a brush if you want to highlight certain things in here as you're learning or as you're teaching somebody to learn. I teach my daughter, and so often we'll use these to differentiate things when I'm teaching her about the script. But I'm finding she's grabbing this tool and writing it all herself. And even when I'm not there, she's getting her grandmother's phone, loading this up and practicing different scripts. And I've put this button here so you can actually save it. And so when you then open that, you'll see it actually saves it out there. So you can keep track of your handwriting progress, which is really cool. You can go back, look at it, analyze it, ask a native speaker, what do you think about this, and get their critique of your script and improve the way that you're writing. So coming back to Thai, supposing I wrote the word sawatdi. So I'm going to write it in here, sawatdi. I'm just going to put it in there. Let me just knock it down. I'll just get it back centered. If you need to bring it back to the center, you just hit this reset position and bang, you've got it. Have a look at this. I've put, this is a cursive font. Well, just a handwriting font, not really cursive. And this is a font that many people have problems with. It's this modern font that's lost the loops. And so quickly, it sensed that this is Thai, and then bang, it's loaded those fonts up so you can get the dotted font, the handwriting font, the modern loopless font, and then I've also put in here the Com script and the Lana script. So it was really cool. The other day, my daughter was coming through this learning Thai, and she got Morma, and so I'll put Morma up there. And then she clicked it out to here. And so she was practicing writing her Morma. Now, I've got these templates up here, Chinese templates, as well as this is for radical practice in Chinese. But let's just bring the Morma back into the grid. And so she was practicing. Oh, I'm on the wrong pen. I've actually put shortcuts in here. So if you're on your computer, Command Z or Control Z will also reset it for you. Let me choose the brush tool. And so I can write my Morma there. And what she did then is that she moved this across, and then she clicked the Lana version, and she wrote next to it then the Lana version of Morma. And the crazy thing now with my daughter is just like, let me just move this font across here again. So just like you see the difference between this font and say a handwriting font and a modern font, now she's even looking at the Com and the Lana script just as different versions of the same letter. So now when she sees that, she just says Moma. She just thinks it's the same letter, which is awesome. That means next time we go to Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, and she sees this Lana written, she's going to be able to start to recognize the letters and perhaps read what's there in the Lana script, which is something I never imagined that she would be doing now. I did this mainly for myself and maybe other adult Thais who want to learn Lana and Com script, but my 4-year-old daughter is playing with this and learning as well. Now, of course, we have Chinese, and there's something with Chinese I want to show you here. So if I go to How and I change this to a normal Chinese template. Now, I did a clip yesterday on the metrics of Chinese characters. And so go back and have a look at that if you want to see it. But you can actually change these templates based on what character you're writing. And you'll find that, yeah, well, this is the standard template. Let me just get it centered a little there. This would be, say, the standard template that people would learn to write their kaishu forms, their standard block forms of Chinese characters. The reality is that when Chinese is written, say, in normal handwriting style, and I've put all of these different styles in there, the reality is that they're probably following grids like this. And so with the controls here, you can just practice and go up, and you can practice the cursive forms. Even if you know how to write Chinese, Japanese already, it will sense it for you. It will help you train in versions of the script that you don't know yet. There is no downside to learning a new script in a language. I know a lot of people are texting these days, but actually learning the script gets it into your muscles, and this is going to help the language live inside of you. Other mentions, we have Japanese. So I've written in here, arigato. I put it in here. Let me just get rid of that tie. And let me sort of shrink it down, and maybe I will get rid of the template. So that's arigato, and bang, it's sensed that it's Japanese. And so I've put a whole bunch of handwritten forms in here for you as well. So this is more of a cursive-ish form. This is more of, I guess, a young kid's form. And so you can actually click between the different Japanese fonts here. And then also, I'm going to put Korean in here. So let me just type Annyeong. I'll scale it up a little bit. Annyeong. And I also have fonts in Korean there. So you can get used to sort of handwriting fonts, which is pretty cool. This is another common font showing actually the brushstroke, how it comes down. And these Korean letters actually will fit into many of the Chinese grids as well, because they're following the same principles or aesthetic principles of how you lay out these strokes. And so you've even got Korean in there. And lastly for this clip, also we have Khmer. Now in Khmer, it's really interesting in that you have two main fonts that are used in everyday life. So if you're just writing, reading a book, you'll see this Jeriang font like this. This is just a normal kind of font. And, you know, you can see them like that. They look similar, but you'll also see what's called the mul font, the bubble font. And this is on signage around the place or official sort of banners that you will see these titles. And so a lot of people, when they come in and learn, they may learn one or the other, but when you learn Khmer, you need to learn both. So this says Swasadai. And so you can actually learn both scripts, and you would notice that this is similar to when I went through the Com script that Thais used to use to write the Thai language. And so you can actually learn this form of the script with the same tool and get rid of that. And then you can just switch over to your normal Jeriang font, and you can actually learn this form of it as well, which is the way that you would probably write in a book. If you look at school kids' books, they have this font in there. However, they also learn to write in this font. My script learning tool here helps you learn all of them. And the best thing is that it's integrated into all the tools here, whether it's the consonant compass, my tone mapper, the tone master tool that you learn tones with, even the Tengwar script. You can cut and paste things in there, and you can just click up here and use it. I've got Balinese in there. You can sort of click on a letter and practice up there. Any script that can be put onto your computer and can be cut and pasted can be put in here, and you can use it to practice writing that script. Isn't that awesome? This is just one other facet of my overall holistic crackinglanguage.com scheme. And I want to put the tools out there. I see things like Duolingo and other tools there that get people sort of addicted to the gamification of what they call language learning, but in my opinion isn't language learning. I see many of these online language tools probably designed by people who have never learned a language in their life, but they may be gamers, and so they're just giving dopamine hits to kids and to adults, making them feel good. But what they actually get out of that, maybe for European languages, but almost certainly not for Asian languages, can they take that into the real world. What I'm putting out here are real world tools that let you extract the language from the environment. It's not just sitting there passively receiving it, but you're actually getting in there and getting it into your body. If you want dopamine hits, I can build those tools up and put it out there, and heck, maybe I'll do it. I'll go in and see all these apps, what dopamine hit, sugar hit tools that they're doing, and I'll try and make them even better and throw them out there for free, because in my opinion, this is not the language learning part of language learning. These are just tools. Language learning is going through and getting the language into you. It's exploring the language. It's having a tutor or somebody there to say, oh no, this is actually why this is like that. And then you go out and use it. So you use the tools to be able to put that in practice, but you don't just sit there getting dopamine hits and expect to go out to be able to use that language in the environment. So if you want to support this work and you want to get up on your language and really learn the language, I'm opening up my Minecraft sessions again. So we're going to have 4 sessions week after week where we go through all of this stuff. And this is going to lay the foundation for a ton of new tools and new content that I'm putting out there. And I'm going to be designing for you just like this. I'm going to see what people actually want, what they need, and I'll build it. I love building stuff. I love language. So why not put it together like this and build the ultimate tools in being able to learn language? So come subscribe to Minecraft at jacademy.com. You can click on the link there. Come and play with all the tools here at tools.crackinglanguage.com. I'm adding to them by the day. I'm Stuart J. Raj. I'll see you on the other side.